Welcome everyone to Charleston, South Carolina. Week 11 in the SFL is officially underway between the Indianapolis Ramblers and the Charleston Predators, coming up next right here on SFL YouTube. Good evening everyone, happy Friday to you all. Alongside Liam Crowder, I'm Cameron Irvine. Here on play-by-play for this game, Aaron Gooden, Declan O'Rourke on stats. Liam, welcome to South Carolina. Just a little bit south of where you like to call your America's sports fandom home. Isn't that right?
Yeah, very true, very true. But it's a lovely, nice day here. Great day for some football, and looking forward to seeing what these two teams can do.
Indy and Charleston a bit on the outside looking in. Both teams have a couple of wins this season, but this should be a good one between two running backs, especially Liam, that know how to turn up. Brad Jones leads the league in carries, and Keith Swearingen, low-key top 5 runner in the SFL this season.
Yeah, absolutely, Cam. Looking forward to seeing what these two teams can do. Chad Rowland in Indy, along with Adam Wiseman, very familiar with how Chad operates, but both of these teams have got something to prove with the remainder of the season. They're on the outside looking in at the moment, both looking to snap a losing streak this week. It'll be one or the other, so interesting to see what both these teams can do tonight.
100% agree. 2-6 Indy, 2-6 Charleston. Indy defers to the second half, and Charleston will get the football first. Lone Star and Jacksonville coming up shortly on SFL YouTube. Kick it! We're underway here from Fort Moultrie Memorial Stadium here in South Carolina, and Saren Storm gets blasted on his initial return up to the 24-yard line. The quarterback for Charleston is Kentez Johnson. He obviously came back last season in the middle to take over for TD Drew and did a pretty excellent job. This offense, and their defense rather, Liam, has struggled to stay healthy this season. That's been their biggest issue.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if they can just keep the pieces on the field, they'll be in a good shape. But Charleston, yeah, having Kentez, just bobbled that catch there out of Kentez straight out the blocks. They're going to look to go aggressive against this Indy team that I think I have quite high expectations for Indy, as you're probably aware, Cam. And I think they've just struggled to put it all together sometimes. But when they do, they are a dangerous team.
Kentez has taken 25 sacks this season. That's third most in the SFL. That has been a problem on the line, but 17 touchdowns still good enough for 10th in the SFL. Johnson's pass is knocked away and incomplete. That pass knocked down by Ham Anderson. Just his third pass deflection on the season, and it sets up a quick 3rd and 10.
Yeah, it looked like they were going for that slant route there, like a quick stand up and throw from Kentez, but just nothing doing for Charleston so far. They're going to have to throw in a 3rd and 10 situation. They got quads and single back here, so let's see what they can do.
Indy actually 2-7 coming in. They have not had their bye week just yet. Johnson's going deep, and the pass is caught in one-on-one coverage down the field. That is Davius Reed with his 33rd catch of this SFL season, and Charleston moves the chains for first down.
Yeah, looked like they had a read on that corner out there, so good bounce back there from the Predators. Looking quite sleek in this rather simplistic, minimalist, you would say, black and white jerseys.
Black everything with the white numbers and the white trim up top. A short throw outside to Terrell Sutherland is short of the sticks, but thanks to that first 3rd down conversion of the game, it'll bring up 2nd and 4.
Yeah, just got to be patient here, Charleston. They don't want to give away too much too early. Kentez maybe has been a little bit prone to being sacked and a little bit prone to turnovers. So just looking to... Oh, man, the receiving out of the back so far tonight has not been very good at all for the Predators.
Swearingen's 2nd drop in as many attempts. You don't often see that. Been a very odd season for Keith Swearingen. 16th in the league in carries, actually nearly 100 less than Brad Jones, but 3rd in yards and yards per carry. So it's been really surprising that they haven't gotten him more involved. He's 11th in the SFL in receptions with 63, but just dropped 2 there on this opening possession. 3rd down and 4. Johnson again on 3rd down, fires it deep, and finds his receiver down to the Indy 22-yard line. That's Dusty Rourke with her 21st catch and another Charleston 1st down.
Yeah, I'd like to see a little bit more pressure up front from the Ramblers. Maybe send some guys on a blitz and try and put some pressure onto Kentez, one of the most sacked QBs in the league so far this season. Looks like they could maybe run some play action out of this formation. They'll just go with the quick out route, and that's going to set the foundation. They're in the red zone now with that catch, so just looking to make the most of their receiving options here. Seren Storm, someone I'm familiar with from my time in London. Very good receiver, very good option for Kentez here as he prepares to drive towards the end zone.
Dominic Matz with that last tackle for Indy. Swearingen's first handoff of the game, and he's dragged down in the backfield. Excellent open field tackle there for the Indy defense. That's Chad McDevitt with his 58th tackle, just 20 behind the leader, Kanye Rockefeller, on this defense.
Yeah, that's one of those situations where when Swearingen isn't getting much space out wide, on those outside runs, you maybe go to the screen to try and get a bit of free space. But having said that...
Yeah, 3rd and 6, they run for it, and they actually come up short. Had converted their previous 2 third downs, but it looks like this long drive's going to end in 10 plays and a field goal for the Charleston offense.
Yeah, just as I was saying that about Swearingen, his receiving, his hands tonight, I think he's going to get some stick-em on. Looks like they're going to bring out the offense here, Cam.
Wow, this would be really interesting. A 4th and 2. I'm not sure anyone is falling for this at the 13-yard line very early in this game.
A lot of space for the receiver at the top of the screen, though. They just need to run an out route.
Yeah, and no hot route, and instead of an early timeout for Charleston, maybe a missed opportunity on multiple levels there for the Charleston Predators, and that's kind of been the way of this Charleston team so far this season. The 2-6 record coming in, averaging a decent 26.6 points per game, 9th in the league in total yards, but they just haven't been able to stop many people, giving up 32.5 points per game. We'll see their defense coming up.
Yeah, it should be a relatively routine field goal here for Charleston. You would expect this probably looking at around about 30.
Right on the nose. That's Brad Bretchett with the 30-yard field goal, and that kick is up and good. So a 10-play, 62-yard drive ends in a Brad Bretchett field goal, and it's an early 3-0 start for Charleston. Kentez Johnson goes 4 for 7 on that opening drive, but 2 of those were not his fault. Drops from Keith Swearingen. But all in all, a pretty good start for the Predators offense as they'll kick it deep to Indianapolis. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. Kanye Rockefeller with a spin and a broken tackle out to the 37-yard line. Always dangerous. Kanye on the return, and we'll get to see Colin Pierce and the offense for the first time today for Indy.
Yeah, Colin Pierce is one of the people that I met at convention at the beginning of the season, Cam, and there was a lot of enthusiasm around this Indianapolis team. 2-7 record, but certainly based on the effort both on and off the field, they have certainly shown themselves to be an excellent part of our league so far this season.
Pass is hauled in. Colin Pierce's first of the night. That's Jeff Bamfield on the reception. Gets a first down to the 49-yard line. Jack Brown in the chat talking about the Charleston uniforms this week, paying tribute to the Western Suburb Magpies. Have you ever had one of those? It's like a black and white cookie, but it's got some cream in the middle. It's almost like a giant Oreo. Have you ever had one of those?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned cookies, so I would imagine at some point in my life we have spent well over 10 hours in a car together, Cam. So I'm sure at some point we must have ate one of those on the way down to convention earlier this year.
I think there were some in that Beaver, Utah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Possibly.
They had a lot.
Hand off to Brad Jones. That's his first carry of the night. Picks up 2. Second down and 8. Pierce going to hand it off to Jones again. Left side, 35-30. Brad Jones is out. Jack Brown saves a touchdown, and the ball gets to the Charleston 19-yard line, and a great start for the Ramblers offense, both through the air and on the ground.
Yeah, and that's a money play there for Indy. They're running that weak Jokers flip. So you basically have the offensive line drawing in the defensive lineman a bit. Great blocking there, setting up number 44, Jones, on the run there. And that is a huge game for Indy, getting right back up into the Charleston red zone. And now they just need to, they're going to come out in that formation again, see if they can maybe push again with the run or even go to the screen, try and mix it up and make yourself not too predictable.
Yeah, there it is. Same play. 29-yard run the first time. This one is good, nearly for a touchdown. Jones is smacked down at the goal line. John Stamengo saves the score this time, but having a lot of success early. Ramblers in 3 plays quickly down the field. 4. Check that.
Yeah, that was excellent play there from Brad Jones. That I thought he crossed there. Yeah, I don't think you're going to bother challenging that. May come back to bite them if they don't get the 6 points now, but I think they'll probably be fine here. Maybe just run it up the gut, maybe even give it to the fullback, and they could go a few ways from this pro set.
Got to give it back to Jones, you would think, after he almost got it the first time and gets it this time. Touchdown, Indianapolis, on their opening possession. Brad Jones, outside of the one throw to Jeff Bamfield, that was his drive, and the Ramblers strike back.
Yeah, ran about 50 yards there for Brad Jones on that drive alone, and that was as efficient a drive as you'll see from any running back in the SFL, Cam.
A 5-play, 63-yard drive, just that one pass, and then the 4 runs to Jones makes things happen. And Larry Barr's extra point is good, so both offenses getting moving early on. Makes it 7-3, Indy over Charleston. Liam's going to hold down the fort here just for a quick sec while we get Lone Star and Jacksonville going elsewhere on this SFL YouTube network. Thanks, Liam.
Okay, so we're going to have Indy kicking it back to Charleston, taking a 7-3 lead here early in this game. 5 minutes 34 left to go in the first quarter, and Charleston going to return it up to around about the 27-yard line. And Indy and Charleston, this is their first matchup, of course, with Indy being an expansion franchise, but they have certainly proved themselves not to be any pushovers. 2 wins so far this season, and they may be on the outside looking in the playoff picture, but they've certainly set themselves up for success moving forward. A single back set with 3 wide receivers out wide. Nice throw and a catch from Kentez Johnson up to the 32-yard line of Charleston. That was number 11, Christopher Ochoa, on the reception, his first of the day. 2nd and 5 now for the Charleston Predators, trying to recoup that lead. They're going to come out in a very heavy set, fullback and halfback in the backfield. Five-step drop from Kentez. Nice throw out to the strong side, and they're going to run out of bounds there. Number 33, Terrell Sutherland, with the safe hands there. We've been having a little bit of a difficulty with Charleston's backs tonight. They haven't been catching the ball too consistently, but Kentez will be happy to get a nice quick reception out there. They're going to come out in that set again with 2 backs in the backfield, the fullback and the halfback. 5-step drop, and they're going to call that just short. Excellent tackle there from number 48 of the Indianapolis Ramblers. Kanye Rockefeller with an excellent tackle. The free safety coming up field and stopping that just short of the line. And Charleston aren't even going to pressure that. They're going to go for the punt. So Indy making good waves early in this away tie in South Carolina. And Charleston punt it back. Nice hang time on that. And Rockefeller only gets a few yards up to around about the 30. And that is where the Ramblers will start this drive. So it was all Brad Jones on the last drive. 49 yards on the ground. Averaging 12.3 yards so far today. And they're going to come out in a split back set here. So maybe run Jones up the middle. Linebackers shifting for the Charleston Predators. And they are going to run it again. Jones is caught in the backfield though. Nice tackle for a loss from number 42, Jack Brown, the outside linebacker, pursuing Brad Jones. And that takes a couple off of Brad Jones's mark for the day. It's 2nd and 12 now for the Indianapolis Ramblers. Coming out in a split back set here. Couple of tight ends in. And the one wide receiver, 5-step drop. Throwing a catch. And Brad Jones slides out of it and he is up for the first down. Excellent recovery from that first down drive. And Brad Jones makes Charleston pay for a lack of commitment on that tackle. And two defenders nearly there. Number 42 completely whiffs on the tackle. And number 22, Mark Martin, the cornerback, just not able to bring down Brad Jones. And now Indy pushing into Charleston territory here. They're going to run it up the middle with Brad Jones again. And that is another tackle for loss. And that was number 99 there. Robert Cherry, a defensive tackle. Just stuffing that run up the gut for the Ramblers. 2nd and 11 now. It's going to be a single back set with two wide receivers out wide and the two tight ends on the strong side of the formation. They're going to jump. That's going to be offsides. They're going to throw it out to Brad Jones here. And he's going to pick up round about that. So they'll probably take the penalty here and get that extra down back. And that is indeed what R62 is indicating. That was on number 74 of the Charleston Predators, Moore Rivers. And that is that will be frustrating for the veteran of this league, of previously of the St. Louis Gladiators, I believe, Rivers, on that defensive line, applying his trade in Charleston. Single back set here for the Ramblers. 3-step drop, and that is a throw out again to Brad Jones, who's been so active in today's game. And now we have the 3rd down for the Ramblers. The engine has just come a bit stuck here, so they're going to need 5 yards to pick up this first down. They're going to come out in strong eye set with two wide receivers. Pro formation. 5-step drop. Thrown out to the running back, and that is caught behind the line. Brad Jones manages to spin out of it just momentarily, but then he is held up, and that will be a pickup of only a couple of yards. And that will be a pump back to the Predators. So the Predators defense stiffens up, not giving Brad Jones any room to run there. And they will be giving the ball back here, the Ramblers. Fair catch called for, and that is brought in. Sarah and Storm deciding better of trying to run that one back on the Ramblers special teams. Charleston starting from their 16-yard line, so nice field position for the Ramblers to pin Charleston back into. But seeing a very familiar formation from the Charleston Predators here now. They're going to screen it. They're going to throw it out. And that is a fumble. And the Ramblers, they're so close to recovering, and they do. Number 92 of the Ramblers, Chris Joseph, with an excellent recovery. And I wonder if this will be enough to be called back. No, that's definitely a football move. That's a spin, and number 32, Queen, just not able to keep a hold of the ball, and he caught it there, and it's out of his hands and on the ground, and the Ramblers are in excellent field position here on the red zone of Charleston. 12 yards out. They're going to change it up the line there. Colin Pierce is going to change it. He's going to throw to the out route, and they're going to pick up 5 yards there. And with 52 seconds left on the clock, they're going to call that out of bounds. But can see Charleston and Jack Brown there on the sidelines berating Keith Swearingen a bit, maybe asking him where his hands have gone. But the Indianapolis Ramblers, the travelling faithful, won't mind because they are in excellent prime field position here, and they're going to come out in a power I set. They're going to run it up the gut. And that is very close. 3rd and inches there for Brad Jones. Unlucky not to pick up the first down there, and maybe a little bit more. 2 yards from scoring here for the Indianapolis Ramblers. And they will be very happy with what they have seen so far here tonight. Single back set, 2 wide receivers out wide. They're going to run it again, and they're going to stop it. So the Charleston Predators giving the ball away, but they will hold. And they will hold this to a single possession lead for the Ramblers, and that will do it for the first quarter. So Indy in position to put another 3 on the board, but for now it is 7-3 to the Indianapolis Ramblers over the Charleston Predators.
Thank you, Liam, for holding the fort down. Been an entertaining first quarter so far. That was a heck of a recovery by Chris Joseph, and I echo your statements or your sentiments there, Liam. That has been the story of this first quarter. Is Keith Swearingen just struggling? He's been banged up, like I said in the intro. Just kind of a wonky season for Swearingen. A lot of good, a lot of bad, and Indy has taken full advantage so far.
Yeah, I mean, definitely Swearingen, he's pushing 1,000 yards on the season, 348 yards receiving as well. So he's definitely had an up and down season. You certainly would look at his rushing and receiving record, and you would think that his team would be in a much better position record-wise. But ultimately, Charleston, like you said earlier in the game, they just haven't had the pieces in place all season, injury-free. And that can sometimes be what is the difference between a 2-6 record and a 6-2 record. The Predators have shown glimpses of what they're capable of. They just need to keep error-free and avoid giving the ball away, as they have done so far today, Cam.
Both teams' yards per play, pretty good. Hovering around 5 as Swearingen takes a check down for a pickup of 3 yards. 90 yards of offense for Indy in that first quarter, 71 for Charleston, and the field goal gives Indianapolis 3 easy points. Kentez is off to a 9 for 12 start, 71 yards and a clean sheet so far. 2nd and 7 at the 23 for Charleston. Liam Crowder, Cameron Irvine here with you tonight. Friday Night Football in the SFL as Johnson's pass on an under route is complete. That is Davius Reed once more. Sets up a 3rd down and 2.
To be able to make the most of the space that they had created.
Johnson fires it outside. That pass is incomplete. Knocked away by McDevitt again, who's been all over the field tonight. And he'll set up a 4th down, and it's almost like each possession of offense for Charleston has gone a little worse as this game has gone on and Indy's defense has settled in. Yeah,
really nice defense from Indy so far. They're not playing up too much. It's become quite popular in the SFL over the past few seasons. Play quite heavy with the bump coverage, maybe play some under routes as well. Indy just playing some really nice zone coverage and just making sure that all the routes are covered and not giving the Charleston Predator receivers any opportunity across the field to make any space for anything. So I've been really impressed with the Ramblers so far, but the Predators, they got a lot of time left in this game in front of a home crowd, and they'll be wanting to bounce back from what's been a disappointing first half so far.
9 carries, 52 yards for Brad Jones in the early going of this one. Well on pace for 30-plus carries tonight. This is his 10th carry. He'll pick up a yard to the 37-yard line. In other action going on in the SFL, a pick 6 for Jacksonville on the first play of the game has the Kings up 7-0 over the Lone Star Glory very early in that one. Second quarter here. Eric Hammer, there you got to look at him for Charleston. He has missed a game this season due to injury, and they're a much better team when he's out there healthy. Colin Pierce looking for the screen, but it was covered beautifully, and instead it's going to be a sack at the end of the play from Moore Rivers, the former number 1 overall pick in the draft.
Yeah, and that was a design screen there, Cam. So as soon as the receiving option there in the backfield is gone for Colin Pierce, Brad Jones, he's got the second most receptions for a running back so far this season in the SFL, Cam. But when the option is closed, you just got no option. He's just got to throw that ball out of bounds once he ends up in that situation.
Colin Pierce in trouble again. A wobbler is intercepted. Credit the defensive front for that. We'll get a second look at it on the back end of this play. But John Stamengo with another pick for Charleston.
Yeah, really nice. Just doing the exact same thing that I was just complimenting Indianapolis on, just sitting in that coverage there, and just stepped in front of the receiver with the pressure up front in Colin Pierce's face, and not able to do anything there aside from throw it right into the defensive back's hands. So great work there from Charleston to bounce back.
Stamengo's third interception this season. Sutherland gets the pass from the backfield, picks up 7 yards to the Indy 41-yard line.
Yeah, Sutherland, it's both of these backs for Charleston have maybe had a bit of an up and down day. Not a lot going on the ground, but they have had some nice receiving situations which they just haven't been able to make the most of. Nice pick up there of 7 yards, and Charleston really need to make the most of this great field position.
Hand off to Swearingen and cut down short of the first down marker. Wrapped up by Chris Britton the third. Just his 14th tackle this season. Stunning stat there for Indy's outside linebacker, and it's 3rd and 2.
Be nice to see Charleston go with maybe something a little bit more aggressive. I know you're only looking at a short gain, but just get Kentes to throw the ball downfield. We know he's got the arm. He just needs to be trusted to maybe push downfield a little bit more.
Trap play. Swearingen's got a first down and more. Good downfield blocking. Gets the ball to the Rambler 25-yard line, and Swearingen's best run of the night has the Predators back in business. What a great back-and-forth game here in the first half.
Yeah, well, that's the other route that they could have gone down, which is just give it to your back and just run it right up the gut. And it worked. With this Charleston Predators offense so far, it has been a bit hit and miss. They're going to come out back in that Joker's set again. So maybe look to go for a screen. There is tons of free space at the bottom of the field here, Cam.
Swearingen, there was not a ton of space in between the hash marks, that's for sure, as Indy clamped down on that run. A loss of a yard. Rocco Rossi and company in on that stop. Indianapolis has 24 sacks this season, good for 3rd in the SFL. 52 tackles for loss, 11th in the SFL, led by Derek Jenko with 14 tackles for loss and 10 sacks. Been a little quiet so far tonight. We'll see if he can get moving. Johnson deep down the field is intercepted, thrown right to Bryant James, his 7th interception of the season That's good enough for top 20 in the SFL, and Johnson would like to have that one back.
Yeah, Kentes just forced it there. A lot of defenders right in the middle of the field. Some of the linebackers just coming short. Then they gave a nice cushion to the defensive back on the pick there, and it's looking like a turnover-happy game here tonight, Cam.
I know what Kentes Johnson saw in that throw, Liam. He saw no deep safety. There was nobody behind the intended receiver, but you got to put a little bit more air under that football. Underthrown and right to Bryant James as Brad Jones takes another carry, but is manhandled by Jack Brown, makes the stop.
Yeah, Jack Brown's had some really nice plays today so far, just shutting down as much as he can the backs, whether it be coming out of the backfield, rushing up the middle, going to the sides, or even receiving on the screen. Jack Brown's had a really nice day. Just got to keep up that pressure. That was another great play there from the defensive back. That was Jacob Clear there on the deflection.
Clear with his 7th pass deflection of the season. It'll set up a 3rd down and 10 for Indy. Colin Pierce, 363 attempts. That's 3rd in the league. So you've got Brad Jones with the most carries, Colin Pierce with the 3rd most attempts. This offense spends a lot of time on the field, and Pierce's pass is dropped past the 3rd down marker. And are you going to get up, Bamfield? Boy, that was a little scary there for Indianapolis. They're going to have to punt it away.
Yeah, that would have not been good at all if Jeff Bamfield had not gotten up from that big hit. Bamfield has been efficient so far today, 2 targets and the single reception. Just want to see, Colin Pierce has been going to Brad Jones quite a bit. You know, fatigue does set in with these backs when you've got a lot of heavy workload. I know from being in London, Robert Merrill, when he's had a big workload, you need to give him relief. Need to give relief to Brad Jones as well here for the Indianapolis Ramblers. And I'm sure that Chad Rowland will have considered that in his game plan. But now for Charleston, they need to really they need to bounce back from what has been a difficult few drives. They've been giving the ball away. They're going to come out and gun straight. Maybe give Kentes the chance to show off his arm here.
Bamfield and Roosevelt, a great 1-2 punch for Indy's offense. We'll get back to that next series. Johnson going to go over the middle to Storm, and they mark him short of the 1st down. I think it's a terrible spot, although I don't know if it's worth a challenge. Ham Anderson on the tackle, just his 6th of the season.
I think this is one of those situations where, well, Charleston, they burnt the timeout earlier. I don't think you're necessarily too worried. If this was the second half, I'd be having second thoughts about it, but it doesn't look like it. Wow, Cam, that ball is right on the 1st down line.
2nd and inches. They'll take a 7-step drop, and Johnson will get speared into next week. That was Corey Dobbins with the pressure. Now it's 3rd and short, and maybe that's why you challenge it.
I think they might challenge the spot of the ball now, the play after it has originally been spotted. They're so bothered by the spot, they'll go back to it. No, they're coming out in a heavy set here. Maybe just give it. You've got 2 backs, Keith Swearingen and Terrell Sutherland. One of them have got to make this 1st down.
Johnson, Swearingen, trap, 1st down, and Swearingen again, loose off the left side this time. Big, inside the 10, 5, Swearingen pushing down to the 1-yard line. What a run from Keith Swearingen, now nearly 11 yards per carry. And shot out of a cannon on 3rd and inches.
Wow, the gap was just the river open. The river's parted there. The seas parted for Keith Swearingen. 46 yards. That was a really nice run. And saving tackle there from Bryant James, a strong safety for the Ramblers. And now the Ramblers will be hoping that they can just hold Charleston to just the 3 points. Going to be a tough arso after that excellent run there from the Predators. Cam.
1st and goal. Johnson going to throw, and Johnson has a touchdown. Finds Saren Storm amongst the crowd, and Charleston 1 point away from an extra point. What a drive for the Predators.
Yeah, excellent response there, Cam. And I'll tell you what, when he threw it into that crowd, I was I was as nervous as most of the Predators fans in this stadium, Cam, because Kentez Johnson has thrown it into those crowds before and it has not come out with a touchdown, but this time just manages to get that dot on point, and 4 plays, 56 yards, and an excellent touchdown for the Charleston Predators. They're right back in this game, and it's back to a 10-10 scoreline pending this extra point.
I think we may be in for a treat here tonight in South Carolina. We are all tied at 10, a fast-moving first half, 4:55 to go in the first half of play. And both the Predators and Ramblers playing hard. Indy, as you know, not officially eliminated, Liam, but probably not going to have a shot at 5-7. It would take a miracle. But Charleston, still something to play for at 6-6. If you can win out, and the division probably not in play with DC and Baltimore at the top, but win out, get a wild card spot is still feasible for the Predators as Rockefeller returns to the 31.
Yeah, 6-6 is going to be a tough ask for any playoff-bound team this season, with expansion and the playoff slots remaining as they are. But one of the things I did want to call out, Cam, Indy have had a whole bunch of tough losses, single score losses, games where they've been in it and just haven't been able to pull out the win. And those are the most frustrating seasons for any coach in the SFL. You feel like you're owed so much more by what you're putting in the game plan. And I think the spread reflects that. Just a 3.5 point spread there between these two teams. And I think that just shows the closeness in the eyes of the bookmakers, Cam.
And a minus 38 point differential despite the 2-7 record. That's about an average spread of about 4 points per game for Indy this season, win or loss. As Colin Pierce is sacked, Moore Rivers again gets in there to bring Pierce down and set up a 3rd down and long. And it's the Predators' defensive front, not Indy's, making the difference in the first half.
Yeah, Rivers just threw that offensive lineman off him, and great pursuit to the QB Colin Pierce there. And Kentez, I don't believe, has been sat so far on the other side of the field. So it looks like the defensive line for Charleston is getting the most of it tonight. Really nice throw and a catch there. Number 17. Ryan Roosevelt, really great acquisition coming out of Atlanta for the Indianapolis Ramblers. Very highly touted across the league. And for this expansion franchise to pick him up was a real acquisition by the Ramblers ownership. So great throw and catch there from Colin Pierce to get the Ramblers right back into this offensive drive.
Nice one-handed catch from Roosevelt. Talk about Roosevelt and Banfield as that 1-2 punch as Pierce gets it out to Brad Jones, who's got plenty of space, gets a 1st down to the Predator 42-yard line. Banfield's got 660 yards, good for 23rd in the SFL coming in. And then Ryan Roosevelt with 613, right behind him at 29th in the SFL. And we're talking about that Charleston defensive front. Moore Rivers just 3.5 sacks coming into the season, or coming into this game rather. 2 here tonight. The Predators middle of the road, 15 sacks coming in. But their defensive line has beaten Indy's defensive line here so far in the first half. Brad Jones takes another pass to the outside, this time opposite direction. Jacob Clear cleans it up after a 7-yard gain.
Yeah, crushing tackle there from Clear. But this is like gold to me, Cam. This is like gold when I see a great finesse back like Brad Jones getting the ball out of those screens in the backfield and just running upfield, and it's just 3 yards. It's free real estate, and there's so much free space as he nearly picks up. Oh, that was the spot there. Maybe was a little bit short, but they may be wanting to have another look at that one, Cam.
Another close call here in the first half. 53 yards on 11 carries for Jones, also 6 receptions for 35 yards, so 17 total touches here in the first half for Jones. Going to get touch 18 here. I don't think he got it. He did not.
He didn't get that.
Charleston keeps them short. A difficult decision coming up for Indy with a 4th and inches at the 32-yard line. We've reached the 2-minute warning. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on SFL YouTube. We'll be right back. See what Indy's going to decide to do. They're going to take the points.
Yeah, I think it's way too early to be worrying about whether or not you get this first down or not. I mean, it's so close. You would have at least challenged it, in my view. I suppose with just a couple minutes left on the clock.
The 48-yarder drilled by Barr, so that gives Indy the lead, 13-10. And I guess if you're playing the game of, well, they're only going to have 2 minutes to score, what are the odds? Maybe Indy figures there. The defense has played pretty good. Bryant James has an interception. Chris Britton the third. Ham Anderson stepping up more than they typically might. And it's worth noting, Charleston, 138, just saw it on the ticker down there, 138 rushing yards allowed per game this season. That is a third worst in the league and a franchise low. Brad Jones has been pretty good tonight, but Predators are holding their own. Storm is getting crushed on these kick returns. And Kentez Johnson, the offense, will start from their own 21-yard line.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see Charleston as the game progresses. If they keep it close, I'd like to see them get Sutherland more involved in the game. I think the fullback is quite underutilized at times in the run game for a lot of different teams. And just bringing Sutherland into that game, it does rest Swearingen a bit.
Johnson down the field. Storm first down to the 40-yard line. Storm's 4th catch of this game. Pickup of 21 yards there. And Charleston doesn't have to panic.
Yeah, not going into the hurry up just yet, Cam. Got a minute and 30 left on the clock. So just take your time. Don't want to rush it. You don't want to give the ball away. Absolutely can't afford to turn it over to the Ramblers in this sort of situation.
Johnson, deep, drop back once again, and launches it down the field, nearly intercepted, looking for Davius Reed. And Johnson has been unafraid to go down the field, Liam, but it's not reflected in his yards per attempt, just 5.6 tonight. Haven't been able to connect on a lot of those deep shots.
Yeah, I'm pleased though to see that they're being aggressive. You know, that throw, despite it maybe being a little bit undercooked, it does show that Johnson does have the arm to get the ball downfield. And you want to see this Charleston Predators team, which is maybe, you know, if they are looking at being in as a 6-6 team, you might as well go all in and be aggressive and really push on and try to do something different going into the playoffs rather than sort of crumble a little bit, I suppose. So the Predators, you know, they have everything in their power here to get back within field goal range here, tie it up going into the half in front of your home crowd, and really push on and try and make it 3-6 here in front of your hometown crowd.
Sutherland's 4th reception as that pass is hauled in by Christopher Ochoa's 2nd. Now no huddle offense coming for Charleston, down 13-10 just before the half. Johnson taking a deep drop back, now checks it down Swearingen. Bryant James comes up and makes a crisp open field tackle. Now it's 2nd down and 12. 48 seconds to go and counting. Charleston left with those 2 timeouts after calling the timeout early in the first quarter on 4th and 2. Swearingen, what an athletic play. Gets down the sideline but couldn't get out of bounds. Gets to the 33-yard line. Charleston hustling, although Swearingen makes something out of nothing there. That was a terrific play. Gets him into field goal range. Johnson, step back, corner route, knocked away and incomplete, and that stops the clock. Ernest McCray Sr., who's having one heck of a season for the Ramblers, knocks it down, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, really nice play there from Swearingen. Made something out of nothing, coming out of the backfield, running right up the side. Excellent block from one of his blockers. Didn't catch the number, but just about managed to give him the space to get that first down. But then again, Ernest McCray Sr. Just stops that momentum, puts Charleston back into the huddle. Now they've got to figure something out from here. Do they go aggressive? Looks like it, Cam.
Johnson with split backs. A lot of underneath short routes, and it's probably for the best. That was incomplete. Chad McDevitt with his second pass deflection. Listen to this guy's first half numbers, Liam. He's got 4 total tackles, 2 tackles for loss, a fumble, and 2 passes defended. He's everywhere.
Yeah, that just shows the athleticism of some of the defensive backs that you get in the SFL, and linebacking calls as well. Being able to basically act as a hybrid. So really impressive display so far.
Johnson nearly getting to the end zone. Oh, 14 seconds and tackled at the 1. Davius Reed with a terrific play, but possibly saving 4 points at the end of it. Who made this stop? I mean, that is a tough play to make as a member of the secondary. That was Blake Prine with his 4th solo tackle of the first half, and I think it's going to save the Ramblers 4 points here.
Yeah, I think that is, they're going to come out and bring out the field goal unit. I don't want to worry about whether or not they run down the clock, because in this situation, so close to the end zone, if you're running the ball with Keith Swearingen or Terrell Sutherland and you don't make it, you're suddenly in an impossible situation. You'd have to kick it after the timeout anyway, because you wouldn't have the ability to clock the ball anymore, I guess. So I think it's fine to take the field goal here. You've got the tie going into the half, and this is shaping up to be a really exciting second half between these two win teams, Cam.
10-play, 77-yard drive, and thank you to Declan O'Rourke and Aaron Gooden and our stats truck for all these delicious stats this evening. 12 seconds on the clock. And at the end of the day, Liam, both teams played it a little bit conservative in the last 2 minutes. Both teams ended up with a field goal, and we were tied before all that stuff anyway. So no harm, no foul. The SFL produces over 400 live events each year, but don't miss community content creators and their creations. Catch SFL Nights with AJ Stryker. Say it with your chest, around the SFL and more, covering season 19 and beyond. Check out archived versions of community shows. Visit simulationfl.net and click the logo of your favorite form of SFL entertainment on our homepage. I caught a little bit of SFL Nights last night. Had a great new show. Brad Jones runs out the first half clock, and that was a pretty terrific first half. Indianapolis 13 and Charleston 13. What a great football game to start. Here's your first half stats and highlights. Liam, what's your big takeaway from the first 2 quarters?
Yeah, Cam, it's been interesting to see just how effective both of these teams have been on the ground. You know, we've been talking quite a bit about Brad Jones. He hasn't necessarily actually been the most effective player on the ground so far today. Keith Swearingen had 2 big plays, 2 big runs that really set the tone for the Charleston rushing attack. So I think that as we go on in this game, with it being so close, you're probably going to be looking at a situation deep into the 4th quarter where these 2 teams are very closely knit together scoreline-wise, and those running backs and fullbacks are going to make all the difference, whether it be in screens, whether it be just running it up the gut, running it up the outside. And I think this is really shaping up into maybe being one of the most exciting matchups of the weekend so far.
14-7, Jacksonville leads Lone Star in the second quarter. That would be quite the upset if they were able to pull that off here in Charleston. 13-13. Keith Swearingen and Brad Jones doing their thing. Both of these teams playing a bit, you know, as we might have expected them to play here tonight, Liam. A very competitive football game. And that's the great thing about the SFL. You don't have to be a championship contender to have a bunch of talent put on a great show. And we're seeing these 2 very talented teams who've just had some things not go their way over the last couple of months playing some really good football tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I rate Indy very highly, and also the Predators as well. You know, have shown that both on and off the field, both these franchises, both on and off the field, have set some exemplar standards. And, they have just been a little bit unfortunate on the field, just not able to put together some of the runs that you would like to see. And they're now building for next season, whether or not Charleston get into the playoffs or not. Both of these teams have a great foundation. And it's really interesting to see some of the stuff that they've done on the field tonight, which has been really exciting.
Rockefeller returns that up for the Ramblers. Colin Pierce's first half, 9 of 12 for 75 yards. The one interception dragging down his QBR. Colin Pierce so far this season with 21 picks. That's not great. 17th in the SFL, but he has been well protected, at least coming into the game. Just 8 sacks allowed. That's really been the difference in this game in terms of the way these teams play or are expected to play. That Charleston D-line has really stepped up tonight, although they jump off sides on the first play of the third quarter, and it'll set up a 1st and 5.
Yeah, just a little bit of lack of discipline there, Cam. And I think that's probably one of the key elements for both these teams. I think when you're looking at, some of the top-tier teams, say like a Baltimore or, DC or Mexico City, you tend to see quite an identity on their defensive play. Team like Baltimore plays a lot of bump, as I mentioned earlier, something which is quite popular. And maybe these two teams just looking to discover a bit more what they do best. Indy had some really nice zone coverages early in this game, and they'll probably be looking to utilize that a bit more as they continue onwards, trying to stifle the Charleston Predators and prevent Kentez Johnson from making the most of his receiving options going forward.
2nd and 3 at the 33 after the penalty, and then a 2-yard pickup for Jones. Look at everyone in. I mean, there's 10 players before the first down line. Wow, great play by Rivers. Yeah, a lot of guys
up there. Yeah.
To just one deep safety, and Rivers makes another tremendous play, 3rd down.
Yeah, I noticed that they have such faith in their defensive linemen that they didn't have any concerns about bringing all their defensive backs and linebackers right up to the line of scrimmage and really playing up and threatening almost a blitz in a sense. That was another really nice defensive play there on a deflection.
Roosevelt, the intended target. Roosevelt's been a little quiet tonight for Indy. Just a couple grabs for 26 yards. And in fact, really the receivers in general have been quiet for Indy. Just 3 total receptions for anyone not named Brad Jones. Jay Viper's been targeted just once. The 2 tight ends, Randy Pierce and Gibson Rickenbacker, 0 targets combined between the 2. Ed Williams also has not been targeted. So it has been a very Brad Jones-focused game plan here tonight for Indianapolis, but Charleston's been all over it.
Yeah, well, you know what Mike Daggs says, Cam, and that is throw it to the wide. No, hang on. That's I think I got it wrong. Certainly, Indy should.
I just appreciate the fact that you didn't, you put Mike Daggs' name. I hear his name on every broadcast. You know what Mike Daggs says. But, this time you mixed it up a little bit, and I can appreciate that. Because, after a while, you just get sick of the guy. Johnson, 1st and 10 at the 41, and that pass is incomplete. Really nice coverage. That's Chris Britton, the 3rd again. He's having a banner night with 4 total solo tackles, and he's not going to get credit for a pass deflection on that, but perfect hit on Dusty Rourke.
Yeah, we just talking earlier about the zone coverage that Indy was putting in place, and it's been working really well. They've managed to hold this Charleston Predators offense, which has been spiky. It's had its moments. It's had its big plays. They managed to hold them relatively well, and that was a nice throw and a catch there from Kentez. They'll hold them up just short of the line. But, Colin Pierce's numbers have not been tremendous, but I think he's been reliant on Brad Jones a bit. Kentez has certainly had a lot of opportunities, and for him to be held to just over 150 yards is something that Indy can certainly hang their hat up on.
Sutherland on a 3rd and 1 from, gets to a 3rd and 1 from midfield. They're going to give it to Swearingen. How good has Swearingen been in these 3rd and 1 or less situations? That's the 3rd time that he's gotten a carry in those situations and has converted every 3rd down.
Yeah, nearly 70 yards, Cam, on the day. 46 yards is his longest run, and averaging around about 10 yards a carry. I mean, that is just top-tier numbers there from Keith Swearingen. Had a bit of a tricky start with those receptions, dropping those balls, fumbling the ball there to start the game out of the backfield. But since then, Keith Swearingen has just been really impressive so far tonight.
2nd and 12 in pretty locked-in defensive 3rd quarter here to start. Charleston's at the Indy 48-yard line trying to grind out some yards. Johnson shuffles around in the pocket, and that pass knocked away by Rockefeller. That'll force a 3rd down and 12 yards to go. Can Charleston win out? Liam, their last 3 games, it is not an easy road. There are some teams that have much easier roads than this. At Tulsa, at Minnesota, and versus Carolina is Charleston's last 3. They just got to take it one game at a time. So that is quite challenging. 3rd and 12 for Johnson out of the gun. And Johnson floats one up, and it's caught by Reed at the 16-yard line. Gets it over the head of Prine. 92 yards now for Reed, and Charleston back in the red zone.
Just a really nice route there run by Reed. Comes in, and it looks like it's going to be one of those post-corner routes. Just shakes number 20 out of his boots there, and manages to make just enough space to get behind the defensive back and make that catch. Talking about Charleston winning out, Cam, I don't like to think about trying to get in on a 6-6 record. I still have pains every day thinking about missing a field goal against the New Orleans Pharaohs and
talk about being haunted. So. That was like 5 years ago. Whew.
Never forget.
Yeah.
Never forget.
Yeah, Swearingen picks up 4 to the 12, and Charleston's eating up a lot of clock here. 7-play, 47-yard drive, nearly a 3-minute drive, as Johnson fires it out to Swearingen, has some space, makes Prine jump out of his shoes, and it'll set up a 3rd and 2 at the 8. Yet another 3rd down for Charleston. 8 of 11 on the night, Liam, including 2 for 2 in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, and I think what Indy have to take from this drive, you got to take a page out of the Max Poole School of Defensive Game Planning, which is just want to make the drive as long as possible. If they're going to keep the ball, if they're going to keep pushing downfield, you got to take as much time on the clock as possible. But
hey,
nice.
Liam? Yeah, they scored. Just letting you know. as Johnson gets it over to Ochoa for the score. Hey man, we're calling this game from from the totally other side of the world. So you never know what's going on.
That's the other page of the Max Poole School of defending is don't let the other team score. That's generally a pretty good advisory. But hey, Charleston have been up and down. We've discussed this tonight a few times, Cam. They've been up and down, and for them to get Kentes in position to succeed there, that was a really nice drive set up by those backs in Swearingen and Sutherland, and the Charleston Predators now in really good shape.
20-13, beautiful drive for Charleston, their first of the half. They're now 9 of 12 on 3rd down conversions. 9-play, 59-yard drive, and not much from Keith Swearingen in the ground game on that drive. That was mostly from Kentes Johnson. Rockefeller returns it to the 23-yard line. And take a look at this stat, Liam, for the Indianapolis Ramblers. Yards per play in the first quarter, 6 yards per play. In the second quarter, 1.9. And in the third quarter, 1.4. They got to get moving.
Well, you know now that Brad Jones is going to rip off an absolutely massive run here. But
Pierce out to Jones. He is smashed. A 4-yard loss. What a hit in the backfield by Martin.
Recalculate that average now, Cam. It's going to be below 1 now. But that actually does it. The Ramblers' offense has just been a little too conservative for my liking here. They're coming out in a gun set here, so you probably see a pass, maybe a bit of an all slants play, or just try to throw it downfield. Let's see what they can do.
Pierce deep got his receiver. That's Roosevelt. First down to the Rambler 43-yard line. Recalibrating those yards per play once more. Good throw there from Pierce, and that's what Indy needs more of, getting these receivers involved.
Yeah, he had tons of space. Roosevelt, the catch maybe wasn't the best because if he gets down in time, he's gone. I mean, he had a few yards on that defensive back. Good hustle from the defensive back, managing to make up ground there and prevent a touchdown. But Indy just about managing to get the ball out there. Colin Pierce prevent a dangerous sack and a loss of around about 5 or 6 yards. But Indy know what they have to do. They've got the receivers. You're only a single score down. Just keep it within a single score away from home, and you've always got a chance in the game. So,
second down, Pierce 11 of 16 for 96 yards. Jones 15 carries, 56 yards. Charleston backs off, rushes 4. Out to Jones again, his 8th grab. That picks up 6 yards. There's a look at the updated quarterback numbers. Nice night for Kentez. Up to 2 touchdowns and a pick. QBR hovering of about 93.
He's definitely grown into the game, Cam. He had a little bit of a tricky start, as a few of these offensive players for Charleston did, but they've got him right into this game now.
3rd and 4. Indy is 1 for 7 on 3rd downs. Oh, what a move from Jones. Breaks another tackle. Got a block. Jones outside the 25-yard line to the 23. And if that receiver right at the end of the play would have made another block, he may still be running. That was an excellent job by many Ramblers. Check this play out.
And that's Reggie Street, a tear to my eye play right there. He just shook a whole bunch of defenders out of their boots once again. And, he has been really impressive. And it just shows how dominating and how aggressive you can get with these dual threat running backs. They can receive it, they can run it, and just the Swiss Army knife of the SFL on offense, Cam.
1st and 10 at the Charleston 23, and that pass is hauled in. Welcome to the game, tight ends. That's Randy Pierce, first catch, first target, and it seems like every time one of these teams has a scoring drive, Liam, the other is answering. Indy's in the red zone.
Yeah, making for an exciting game, Cam. Indy, they're coming out with a couple of wide receivers here. Could see an out route.
Pierce out to Jones. Oh, Jones pushed down hard by Eric Hammer. That's like, dads are drunk at a party push down. Like that was ugly, as Hammer gets his 7th solo tackle that leads all defenders.
I have no words, Cam. I don't know what to say. That's Liam in Vegas. That is right there. So
I don't remember anybody pushing you, but I could have missed some things that night. Pierce, 2nd and long, and underthrew that pass. Jacob Clear nearly came away with an interception. 3rd and long coming up for the Ramblers. That's just Pierce's 6th incompletion.
Yeah, Pierce has kept his hands relatively clean. 3rd and 13. He's going to come out in bunch sets. You often see the throw out of these sets. Let's see what Indy can do.
3 off the left side. Pierce on 3rd and 13. Needs the 2 for a first down. Pierce going to the end zone, out of the back. Too late to Roosevelt. There was some applied pressure up front by Thomas Matthews and company on that defensive line, but it's going to result in a 4th down and another Larry Barr field goal. It'll be his 3rd of the game.
Yeah, good enough coverage, and combined with the pressure up front from the Predators' defensive line, Rivers and co. have been really on it today up front. And that just combines just meant there wasn't enough time for Pierce to be able to get the ball out to his receiver quickly enough. Nice drive from the Ramblers. Good retaliation to bring them back to 4 points down on the Predators. But they will be thinking they could have maybe got a little bit more out of that drive.
Barr with the kick. So 20-16. Laces away from the foot. Good hold. And Larry Barr knocks it through. Indy down just 4. The SFL Weekly Fantasy Contest is officially up and running. Think you can draft the best team every week while staying under the salary cap? Or maybe just want to enhance your SFL experience. It's free to play, no season-long commitment, and a new contest opens every week on Tuesday night. Join now and show off your fantasy skills to the rest of the league. Contact Jack Wall, Stephen Hacker, or Hunter Norwood to join today. Storm's best return of the day gets him out to the 29-yard line. And an update on your stat pack from Aaron Gooden and Declan O'Rourke. 293 to 191 in total offense, but the Ramblers hanging around.
Yeah, the Ramblers' motor is stuttering, but it is still alive. And Predators, they're out in this strong power I, a favourite of many teams around the SFL, and they could go with the run here. Now they're going to go with the screen.
Flip it out. Swearingen in a lot of open field. Gets a first down. Nice job by the defender to bounce off that initial block. That's Adam Wiseman. That is his first tackle of the game, Liam. Stunning stat.
I thought you were going to say it's his first tackle of the season for a second there. That would have been quite impressive for Adam.
Don't one up my crazy stat now. Now my crazy stat doesn't sound so crazy.
Nah. It's Adam's been there or thereabouts, but the coverage has been from a certain set of players within this Indianapolis Ramblers squad so far tonight. Doing a nice job. Their inside linebackers just trying to keep the running game contained, Swearingen contained as much as possible. McDevitt with his 4th tackle of the day there.
Yeah, it's really been about how Charleston has chosen to attack this Rambler defense. Swearingen picks up 3. 2nd and 7 at the 42. Swearingen will take another handoff, and there's Wiseman again heating up. Just a 2-yard gain. He'll set up a 3rd and 5, but this has turned out to be the story of the game. Charleston on 3rd down. They've been electric.
Yeah, absolutely. That has been one of the defining characteristics, I think, of this Predators offense so far tonight. When they've put the ball in Kentez's hands, as it looks like they will do here, when they've put it in Swearingen or Sutherland's hands, they've been able to make the most of the opportunities they got on 3rd down.
3rd down and 5. Johnson looking to keep the drive alive. One-on-one coverage and a diving play made on Saren Storm. That was brilliant. I think that was McCray Sr. on the outside to stop the drive. That is effort.
Yeah, McCray laid out for that. That was, well, let's just say if I tried to do that, I probably would have broken something. Yeah. So, really nice play, though, from the defensive back. Puts Indianapolis back in the driving seat. And they'll be hoping to ramble on back down into the end zone and get themselves back into the lead here, Cam.
You know, if you would have dove him for that, Liam, you would have had a real tough time saying throw after that. Just right? I said already. Never mind. 1st and 10.
I'm not gonna lower myself to the level of responding to that. Quite frankly, I'm already upset.
That's
I'm
very
already
good.
upset.
The banter, it's a good cop, bad cop thing. You're obviously the bad cop. 1st and 10 at the 24. Pierce is under center as the Ramblers get going. Looking for Jones. It's covered up. Oh, it's almost picked. Charleston all over that. Jacob Clear has had a few opportunities at an interception tonight. Will bring up 2nd down.
So what Indy are doing there is they're bringing everybody inside. The problem there is that the way that Charleston have got that play scouted, they just bring a couple of their linebackers in and just bring them right back into the backfield and just cut off that line of the pass essentially to the back. So Charleston, Indy are going to have to throw it upfield. They can't afford to keep throwing it to Brad Jones in the backfield and create that risk of getting picked off, because it's such an easy play and it's almost guaranteed to be a pick six if you get picked there, Cam.
3rd and 3 coming up on the end of the third quarter. It has been a tight game all the way through here at Fulton
Completely
Memorial.
Completely uncovered man at the top there, Cam.
Absolutely right. And they hand off to Jones, and he's short. Colin Pierce has to recognize Ryan Roosevelt was wide open. Good eye, Liam. That's the end of the third quarter. Now Indy's going to have to punt. They trail by 4. Charleston 20, Indy 16. You're watching the SFL presented by APM Music on SFL YouTube. Stay tuned. But my goodness, Liam, that was a totally blown opportunity there for the Ramblers.
You could have thrown it to him on a straight, just run it up the field, 4 verts, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, they jumped offside and gave him a first down.
Well, it's a moot point then in that case.
Well, maybe that's one of those ball don't lie situations there, as Charleston left a receiver uncovered and they end up paying for it by jumping offside coming out of the quarter break too. That is tough for Charleston, and Indy keeps their drive alive in the most odd of ways.
Yeah, I mean, it's just when you've got close games and you've got players who are getting a little bit nervous, this is the type of thing that happens, Cam. You get really exciting matchups, regardless of what the records of the teams are, to close out the game. And you've got a single score game here, another single score game for Indy. And Charleston in front of a home crowd, this is not a done deal. And their chances of getting into the playoffs are not a done deal either.
How did Colin Pierce thread that to Jeff Bamfield? That was a terrific throw. Hand off to Jones, round the right side. He's got a first down. How did he get out of that? Jones turns that into an 11-yard run for a first down. Jones and Swearingen, there's no doubt about it, 2 of the more talented backs in the SFL.
Yeah, Jones just, he had a flock of defenders right in his back. There was a nice blocking there, actually. Just about avoided the blindside blocks on the guys in pursuit there for the Ramblers on the offensive line. But really nice work by Jones. Managed to spin out of that initial tackle. That gets them the first down a little bit more.
1st and 10 at the Predator 44-yard line. This drive kept alive by that penalty on 4th down as Jones picks up 5. Jacksonville has taken a 21-17 lead over Lone Star, so a pair of 4-point games in the second half right now on SFL YouTube. Great start to Week 11. There's Jones's numbers through the air. 9 catches on 10 targets. 2nd and 5 for Indy. Pierce to pass. Jones, number 10. Jones near a first down. They're going to give it to him. Clear on the tackle at the Charleston 34. Another close spot of the football.
Yeah, the Predators don't challenge this. I mean, it's close, but it certainly did look like he extended over the line, and they're going to give him the first down. They're just going to take it. So the Ramblers rolling on here.
8th play of the drive for 43 yards. Pierce 2 for 2, now 3 for 3, although there is a flag. Not quite sure what that is. That could be in the backfield and coming back.
Yeah, I think that's holding, Cam, so that may be on the offense.
Holding, number 70.
It is. Wow, that is a bad time for a penalty. And that is actually the star offensive lineman, I believe, for the Ramblers. That's going to set up a 1st and 20. And, yeah, that was left tackle Jacques Lapenquakwe. See if I said that right.
Lapenquakwe?
If I did, it'd be a miracle. Pierce to Jones, and Brad Jones picks up 4. Although I'm still hung up on the last name. Say again,
Thumping hit there from thumping hit there from number 21. Lapenquakwe, I believe, is the offensive lineman. Although I'm not holding myself to that. I mean, I'm still trying to recover from diving out for that attempted interception. So
I think we nailed it. 2nd and 16. We'll see if anybody can tell us in the chat. Pierce, 2nd and long, going for it all, and it's caught by Pierce for a first down at the Charleston 17-yard line. Randy Pierce coming up with 2 clutch catches down near the goal line here in the second half.
There were alarm bells all over that defensive play there from the Charleston Predators. I saw all 3 receivers look like they were completely clear and have free space to run. And in the end, they go with Randy Pierce, the Pierce-to-Pierce connection. And that was a really nice 23-yard catch for number 41 right there.
23 yards to Pierce. Jones takes another handoff, and then Eric Hammer rides him like a pony. His 9th solo tackle of the football game.
I think that might be a penalty if he did that, Cam, but you never know. You never know.
Moore Rivers as well. He's got 8 tackles, 2 sacks in the game. It's been a coming out party for Rivers and a couple other players on this Predator defense. They're trying to keep the lead. 2nd and 10, out to Jones, and Brad Jones hit by Brown, so another 3rd down coming up. These have been long drives, just sucking away this clock. Liam, 14th play of the drive coming up for Indy. They've had the ball for nearly 5 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Brad Jones just needed to commit a bit more to the edge there on that screenplay, though. Oh, a lot of free space short here, Cam.
Pierce, 3rd down, end zone, intercepted, threw it right to clear, and then he brings it out of the end zone, and Charleston will have it at the 4. You could tell Jacob Clear, look at all the room he's got out here. He thinks he's got a pick 6. And then Roosevelt gets him from behind. Critical tackle, but an even more gut-wrenching interception thrown by Colin Pierce there in the red zone.
Yeah, I think if you have to pick any offensive player to go in pursuit of a defensive back, Roosevelt would be up there, but it was a good hustle to... The Predators are in quite dangerous shape here, and that is caught up at the line. So, the clock is still ticking down, Cam. You're expecting if the Ramblers manage to hold them here, they get it with under 5 minutes left, and they're still well in this game. But the Predators, they just need to avoid endangering the ball again, as they have done in certain situations here today.
2nd and 10 at the 3. Swearingen again is stuffed, and this is where that great defensive line for Indy can really pin their ears back. Really quiet night for Derek Genko, number 95. This is a moment for him on the defensive line. He's right there in the middle, I believe. Yep, there he is in the middle, looking to pressure Johnson. Johnson gets a pass off a little bit early, I think, to Davius Reed. I think I don't know if you were watching Genko on that play there, Liam, but he beat the center, and I think Kentes was getting a little nervous, and he threw it a little early.
Yeah, absolutely. I was looking at the pressure up front there, and I thought if Kentes doesn't get this out, this is going to be a safety. Does manage to make the throw. It is a bit underthrown, and it could have been an interception. It could well have gone back for a pick 6 right the other way, Cam. But in the event, they are going to get the punt away, but it is a poor punt.
Only to the 37, and Rockefeller is going to push the defense to the 28, a 9-yard return. So essentially, we're back where we started with Indy knocking on the door. And when you consider the fact that that drive for the Ramblers was so long, Charleston in the second half, Liam, just in the second half, they have 18 offensive plays.
Yeah, well, the field position game is a real thing, and that is a real danger for the Predators now. They simply can't afford to let Indy either score or put them in a position where they're in danger.
Pierce deep and rolling near the end zone. That's Bamfield down to the 4-yard line. 1st and goal coming up for the Ramblers.
And that's precisely it. You know, they had a lot of people in coverage around the receiver there, but just nobody able to get the key deflection or the interception. And now this is a guaranteed 6 points if you screen it here, Cam.
Jones, guarantee from Liam. Not so fast, my friend, as Eric Hammer brings him down not only for a 1-yard loss, Liam. Boy.
That serves me right.
They're not going to be calling you Tony Romo tonight, that's for sure.
No. But that was an excellent defensive play.
It was, yeah.
Make no mistake. They managed to recoup from that and get their defensive backs and linebackers just out into the flats, and they did just enough to stop the screen there.
Man, Jones, nothing there. He's now under 4 yards a carry, and just like that, it's 3rd and goal. This Predator defense having one of their best games of the season, trying to stand tall against the Indianapolis Ramblers, who have had 35 plays on offense here in the second half. 3rd and goal at the 4. Biggest play of the game so far. They're going to hand it off to Jones, and he's going to be stuffed. More Rivers again with the stop, and a big decision coming on 4th and goal here for Indy.
I mean, this is heroic from the Charleston Predators, but I gotta say, Cam, they had another free receiver at the bottom of the field. Charleston are playing up very heavy in the center of the field, and those receivers right on the far sides of the field were completely unmarked.
Larry Barr nearly got his field goal blocked. Indy deciding to what is essentially just draw this game out. Down 1 point. They'll now kick the onside kick, hope for another good stop from their defense, give their offense another chance perhaps, unless they can recover it. 20-19. What a game. Larry Barr, 4 for 4 on field goals. Now onside kick. Oh! Is quickly recovered, but a brutal hit from Kanye Rockefeller on the recovering party. That was number 27. I don't have a 27 on this roster, Liam. Or that may have been Sam Blotner, 37 on the recovery.
Yeah, I think it was Sam Blotner. That's seriously questionable decision making, you've got to say, from the Ramblers to go for the onside kick. I would have kicked it away, just done a normal kick, and you've got 3 timeouts. Just try and force the ball back to your offense, which has had a pretty decent game all told, and try and get the points that you need on the subsequent. I mean, they're within a field goal of winning this game, Cam. That's just the reality of it.
2:50 left. It does shorten the field for Charleston's drive and offense. Swearingen in some trouble, makes something out of nothing. And now it's pretty critical here for the Ramblers. They got a hold on 3rd down. The updated 3rd down numbers for Charleston is still an astounding 9 for 14, although they missed on their last 3rd down when Johnson was standing in his own end zone. 3rd and 3 at the Indy 30 with Charleston up 1. 2 in the backfield, heavy set here. Do have to snap it before the 2-minute warning. Johnson, handoff, trap, Swearingen been working all day, but Indy gets the stop they needed. Rockefeller comes over and hits Swearingen right before the 1st down line, and another difficult decision to come. 2 minutes to go. What a thriller in South Carolina. You're watching the SFL presented by APA Music, only on SFL YouTube. So now, if you go for it, 3 timeouts for Indy, and instead, Charleston going to make the Ramblers go the length of the field. If Indy only had 1 timeout, Liam, I'd say that probably going for it would be best because you could end the game right there. But with Indy having all 3 timeouts, you'd definitely like to be up by 4 to force a touchdown, of which Indy has only gotten 1 today. That kick from Brechet is good from 44 yards. And just like that, Indy's onside kick strategy, in a way, pays off. They get another chance at a touchdown with a little less than 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, it certainly does. It certainly does speed up the game in a sense, because Charleston maybe aren't going as aggressively for the first down because they know that they've got a situation where they can pick up the points to extend this to ensure that Indy need the touchdown. But I still think I think with the situation that they had, having just a single point between them, Indy should have just kicked it away, taken the timeouts, and just tried to get the ball back in that way. As it stands, though, the situation could be a lot worse for them. They've got all of their timeouts. If they score the touchdown, the clock is almost certainly going to be under around about 30 seconds, you would say. Depends on how much yardage they can pick up on these opening plays.
Having 3 timeouts and 1:52. Plenty of time here for Pierce. Pass is caught. That is Bamfield making that catch to the 42-yard line. So Pierce, a good start to the drive. Takes 3 steps, goes down the field. It's caught! Oh, right behind the defense. Ryan Roosevelt, and a timeout for the Ramblers. The drive could not have gone any better in the first 2 plays for Indy.
Yeah, I gotta say though, I wouldn't have gone with the timeout. You've got them on their heels. The Charleston Predators just could not respond to that barrage there from the Ramblers. But now you've given them the time to prepare and recuperate and get different defenses set on the field.
I agree. Yeah, that's tough.
You know,
that's tough. It looks like we've got man coverage here. Trips to the bottom of the screen, wide open. Bamfield coming out of that bunch, and he gets out of bounds. A 9-yard pickup. Indy moving the football.
Yeah, that was an excellent play there, and to get out of bounds for Bamfield, it's as worth as much as a timeout. They've driven about 30-40 yards upfield, Cam, in around about 20 seconds of live play time.
Yeah,
look at these wide receivers, Cam. They have so much space.
Doesn't get any better than what we've seen so far out of this Indy offense. Pierce, 2nd and 1, flips it out to Jones, and Jack Brown makes the tackle, and they mark him short. 3rd and inches at the 24. Receivers were going deep. No one open. Pierce, 1:13 to go. Need a touchdown. 3rd and inches. Jones again in trouble. Jack Brown makes the play. It's 4th down.
And here's the game. I can't believe the turn of events. The momentum has absolutely gone back on Indy now. And they just went to Jones just one too many times there. And they had so much space with those wide receivers.
4th and 3 at the 27. Can't buy an out route tonight. 3 wide for Pierce, trying to keep the game alive for Indianapolis. Pierce with 2 in the backfield. Back to pass. 4th and 3. Slant knocked away. Charleston is going to walk out of this with a win. And the game won by Ricky Thornton in the slot.
Wow, I mean, it was the right play. It was just the wrong receiver. Number 84 is coming across the middle. And the guy that Colin Pierce decides to go for is covered by 2 people. If he hadn't have gotten to it, there was a cornerback who could have ended up picking it off, to be honest. So it's hugely frustrating for the Indianapolis Ramblers. They came so close again tonight. And it'll be another single-score game that they drop, but they've got a lot they can be proud of. And the Charleston Predators, on the other hand, they go to 3 and 6, and they're still well in with. You say there is a chance, Jim Carrey meme type element to it, because they are still alive until you say that they're not, and the tiebreakers say that they're not.
Oh man, what a another heartbreaking loss for Indy. And at the end of the day, Liam, they just didn't take advantage of the aggressiveness of Charleston's defense, particularly when they were just leaving guys open. I mean, sometimes 10 yards, sometimes even more than that. And Indy just too solely focused. Brad Jones gets 38 touches today. The rest of the skill players were targeted 20 times. And they just didn't have enough. Charleston's defense really steps up tall. Jacob Clear, Moore Rivers, Eric Hammer, those three in particular had incredible games tonight for Charleston's defense.
Yeah, and it all comes down to balance, Cam. You know, Brad Jones, excellent player, but when you're throwing it to him and he's got about 16, 17, anything above 15 receptions on a day for any running back makes my hair stand on edge a little bit, because it's such a high workload. You need to spread that ball around a bit more.
And that is a wrap from Charleston. What a game. Excellent defensive football game. Love these types of matchups as we check out post-game stats and highlights. 334 for offense for Indy, 314 for Charleston. Both teams had 2 turnovers. I mean, these stats nearly identical, but Indy settling for 4 field goals throughout the course of this game, through an interception in the end zone. Couldn't convert on 4th down. Their 2-minute offense started so spectacularly and then crashed and burned there at the end of the drive.
Yeah, just wanted to call out Moore Rivers as well. 8 tackles for a defensive lineman. That's a huge number, and he had a couple of sacks on the day as well. Definitely an outside shout of player of the game there, Cam.
He was really terrific for Charleston, and his defense stepped up big. Charleston improves to 3-6 on the season. 3 games left, including at Tulsa next week. Both kickers were strong today for their respective clubs. Indianapolis at 2-8 goes on a bye. Next week, hopes to finish out the season strong at Carolina, and then versus Minnesota, their rival, who they are hoping to get some revenge on after another close loss last week, 27-22 in that one. Jacksonville and Lone Stars in the 4th quarter, 21-20. Check that out on YouTube. Kentez Johnson, your player of the game, 24 for 37, 224 yards, and 2 touchdowns. For Liam Crowder, Declan O'Rourke, Aaron Gooden, I'm Cameron Irvine. This has been a presentation of the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music. Your final, Charleston 23, Indianapolis 19. Good night, everybody. Have a great week.
See ya.